In late August of 2025, a Facebook post from a small Christian school in Battleground, Washington, set the entire Little People Big World fan base buzzing. The post was simple. It featured a photo of a familiar face and a few sentences of welcome. "We are so excited to welcome Tori Roloff to our teaching team as a preschool teacher." That was it. That was the whole announcement. No press release, no major news cycle, no interview with People magazine, just a small school excited to introduce its newest teacher to its community. Within hours, the post had been screenshotted, shared, and posted on Reddit, Facebook, and Instagram by fans who could not believe what they were reading. Tori Roloff, the wife of Zach Roloff, the longtime cast member of one of the most successful reality television shows in American history, the woman who had been a fixture in millions of American living rooms for years, was going back to teaching preschool. Tonight on LPBW Update, we are walking through Tori Roloff's stunning career pivot, where she came from before the show, what she did before reality television made her famous, why she made the decision to return to the classroom in 2025, and what this move tells us about how the post-LPBW chapter of the Roloff family is unfolding. Because Tori's choice, in many ways, is one of the most quietly important developments in this family's recent history, and it deserves a proper look. Let us start with who Tori Roloff was before any of us knew her name. Tori was born and raised in Vancouver, Washington, just across the Columbia River from Portland, Oregon. She grew up in a regular American family, in a regular American town, with no particular connection to fame or reality television. She was the kind of girl who, by her own description, loved photography, the outdoors, sports, and creative pursuits. She was and is a Seattle Seahawks fan. She loves baking sourdough bread. She loves being active. She grew up with the practical Pacific Northwest values that have shaped her entire approach to family and work. None of this background was glamorous. None of it predicted reality television fame. It was just the foundation of a normal American life, built in a normal American region, by a young woman who had her own dreams about what she wanted her future to look like. Tori went to college and pursued a career in education. She became a kindergarten teacher. For 6 years before she ever met Zach Roloff, Tori worked in 2 different school districts in the Portland metropolitan area. She taught in the Woodland School District. She taught in the Beaverton School District. She built a reputation in those communities as a warm, dedicated, and skilled teacher. To this day, parents from those years still leave comments on her social media posts and in news articles, remembering her as their child's amazing kindergarten teacher. One former parent wrote, after Tori's recent return to teaching announcement, that Tori had been her son's kindergarten teacher and that she was amazing. Another commented that if they were going back to preschool age, they would love to have Tori as their teacher. Those are the kinds of comments that come from real classrooms, from real students, from real families who experienced Tori as an educator before she was ever an entertainer. Tori and Zach Roloff met through their work and through mutual friends in the Portland area. They began dating. Their relationship grew. They became engaged. And in 2015, they got married. Their wedding took place at Roloff Farms, on the property where Zach had grown up. The wedding was, by Roloff family standards, a relatively low-key affair, with a focus on family and faith. From the very beginning, Tori brought a certain calming, grounded quality to the Roloff family dynamic. She was not flashy. She was not loud. She was, like her future career as a teacher, steady and reliable. She joined Little People Big World as a cast member after her marriage to Zach. For 9 years, from 2015 through 2024, Tori was a fixture on the show. Fans watched her marriage. Fans watched her pregnancies. Fans watched her become a mother to 3 children. And fans watched her navigate the increasingly complicated dynamics of the Roloff family with what observers consistently described as grace. Tori and Zach welcomed their first child, Jackson Kyle Roloff, in May of 2017. Like his father, Jackson was born with achondroplasia dwarfism. The same was true for their second child, Lilah Ray, born in November of 2019. And their third child, Josiah Luke, born in April of 2022, also has achondroplasia. All three children inherited the genetic condition from Zach. Tori, who is of average height, is the mother of three little people. That is a particular kind of parenting experience. It involves medical considerations that most parents do not face. It involves accessibility planning for the home, the school, and every public space. It involves a continuous education in advocacy, in disability rights, and in helping young children with dwarfism develop healthy self-images. Tori has talked openly on her Raising Heights podcast with Zach about the unique challenges and joys of raising three children with achondroplasia. She has said again and again that she would not have it any other way. During the years Tori was raising her children and filming the show, she was also building her own quiet personal brand. She became an accomplished photographer, taking many of the family photos that Zach and Tori shared on social media and in promotional content. She built her Instagram following. She did occasional brand partnerships. She, like many reality television moms, found ways to monetize her presence in family-friendly content. But she did not, by her own description, want to become a full-time influencer. She did not want her family to be defined by sponsored content. She had other ideas about what she wanted her professional life to look like as her children got older. In February of 2024, Tori and Zach announced on their podcast, Raising Heights, that they would not be returning to Little People, Big World. The decision was, in their telling, about the children's privacy and the family's broader well-being. They cited the family tensions, the farm feud, and the wear and tear of being on television for a decade. They walked away. And Tori, in particular, talked at the time about wanting to return to teaching at some point. She did not give a specific timeline. She did not commit to a particular school or community. She just said it was something she wanted to do eventually. The fans took her at her word and assumed it would be a few years before she made the move. 18 months later, in August of 2025, she did it. The announcement on the Firm Foundation Christian School Facebook page included a personal introduction from Tori. She wrote, "I was born and raised in Vancouver and taught kindergarten in the Woodland and Beaverton school districts for 6 years before taking a break from teaching to have our 3 kids." She introduced herself with the warmth of someone who clearly loves what she does. She said, "I love photography, making sourdough, and staying active with our kids. I love sports. Go Seahawks too. I love being creative and finding fun ways to share joy and truth with people around me." That introduction, in just a few sentences, captures Tori in a way that years of reality television footage never quite did. She is a teacher. She is a mother. She is creative. She is Christian. She loves her family. She loves her work. And she has chosen, after years of being a reality television personality, to step back into her original calling. The reaction from fans was overwhelmingly positive. The Reddit community lit up with comments of support. One commenter wrote, "That is good. I do not doubt she is a good teacher, and it is at a private Christian school, so she will fit in." Another wrote, "Honestly, it is so smart because you cannot rely on being an influencer forever." Another wrote, "Good for her to actually be able to get a job, an actual job." That last comment, which sounds harsh out of context, actually reflects a real respect for Tori. The fan was making the point that many reality television stars end up trapped in influencer careers, dependent on sponsorships and social media algorithms, with no real professional skills to fall back on if the platforms change or the audience moves on. Tori has actual professional skills. She has a real teaching credential. She has years of classroom experience. She can do work that matters in the world, even if the cameras never turn back on again. That kind of practical career foundation is rare in the reality television world, and fans recognize it for what it is. Now let us talk about why this move matters in the broader Roloff family story. Tori going back to teaching is not just a personal career decision. It is a statement about values, about what Zach and Tori want their children to see when they look at their parents. Zach has been clear that he and Tori want to raise their kids with a focus on faith, family, and real-world skills. The decision for Tori to return to a real classroom at a real school, doing real work in their local community, models exactly those values for Jackson, Lilah, and Josiah. The kids get to see their mom going to work every day. They get to see her caring for other children and being a respected professional in their community. They get to grow up understanding that work is dignified, that careers matter, and that there is more to adult life than maintaining a social media presence. That is, in 2025 and 2026, an increasingly countercultural lesson to teach children. Tori is teaching it by example. There is also a financial dimension to this move that is worth being honest about. When the show ended, the Zach and Tori income from TLC ended with it. The Raising Heights podcast generates some income, but podcasts in the relationships category are not, by industry standards, major moneymakers compared to top-tier shows in news or comedy. Tori's photography work and influencer activities have continued, but those revenue streams are inconsistent. Having a steady teaching income, even at the modest salary that most preschool teachers earn, provides important financial stability for the family. Zach and Tori are raising 3 children. They own their home in Battleground. They have ongoing expenses. The teaching income is not glamorous, but it is reliable. And in the post-show economy of their family, reliability matters more than ever. That practical financial reality is part of what makes Tori's decision feel so mature and so smart. Tori is also choosing a particular kind of school for a particular reason. Firm Foundation Christian School is, as the name suggests, a Christian school. Zach and Tori are devout Christians whose faith has been a consistent thread through their public life. Choosing to work at a Christian school aligns her career with her values. It allows her to be in an environment where her beliefs are respected and where she can integrate her faith into her teaching practice. For some teachers, the values fit between school and family is the most important factor in choosing a workplace. For Tori, the fit at Firm Foundation seems to be very good. She is teaching in a school that shares her worldview. She is teaching children whose parents have similar values to her own. And she is doing it in the same community where she lives and where her own children are growing up. The whole arrangement makes sense. It is the kind of thoughtful, family-first decision that does not get nearly enough credit in our cultural conversation about working women. What does Tori's typical day look like now? We can only speculate because she has not done detailed interviews about her daily routine. But based on what is publicly known about preschool teaching at Christian schools, her day likely involves arriving at school in the morning, setting up her classroom, welcoming her young students, leading them through structured learning activities including basic literacy, numbers, fine motor skills, and Bible stories appropriate for preschool age. She likely manages snack time, recess, art projects, and circle time. She likely communicates with parents about their children's development. She likely brings her own creative touch to the classroom, perhaps drawing on her photography background to document classroom moments. And she likely goes home in the afternoon to her own 3 children, exhausted in the particular way that only teachers of small children get exhausted, but also fulfilled in the particular way that only teachers of small children get fulfilled. It is a different kind of life from being on a reality television show. It is, by every visible measure, a better fit for who she is. Tori has also been candid on Raising Heights about the physical toll of her 3 pregnancies and births. All 3 of her children inherited achondroplasia, which can lead to medical complications during pregnancy for mothers of average height carrying babies with the condition. Tori has talked about how the births were hard on her mental and physical health. The recovery from those pregnancies has been a years-long process. Returning to teaching in 2025, when Josiah was 3 years old, was the right time for her to step back into the workforce. The youngest of her kids was in preschool himself. The family rhythm could accommodate her being away from home for the school day, and her own recovery had progressed enough that she could handle the energy demands of being in a classroom. The timing, like everything else about this decision, was thoughtful. What does Tori's return to teaching tell us about the future of the Roloff family? It tells us, I think, several things. First, it tells us that the post-show era of the family is going to be defined by practical, sustainable choices rather than by reality television logic. Tori is not chasing the next reality opportunity. She is not trying to maintain her fame. She is just doing what makes sense for her family. Second, it tells us that the Roloff kids are going to grow up with parents who have real jobs, not just reality television careers. That will shape how Jackson, Lilah, and Josiah understand work, money, and adult life. Third, it tells us that Zach and Tori are committed to the long term, not just to the short-term success of their family. They could have stayed on the show and continued collecting TLC paychecks. They chose not to. They chose privacy. They chose stability. They chose to build a life that does not depend on the entertainment industry's whims. That is a mature decision. It is a difficult decision. And in 2025, with Tori's first day of preschool teaching, that decision became real in a way that fans could finally see. So what is next for Tori Roloff? The honest answer is more of the same. More teaching, more family time, more sourdough, more Seahawks games, more photography, more raising her 3 kids, more appearances on Raising Heights with Zach, more of the small, ordinary, beautiful life that she has been quietly building since walking away from Little People, Big World. She may, at some point, return to television in some limited capacity. She may, at some point, write a book. She may, at some point, take on additional creative projects. But none of that is necessary. She is doing what she loves. She is in a community that supports her. She is raising her children in a way that aligns with her values. She has, by every measure, won the post-show chapter of her life. And she has done it not by chasing the spotlight, but by stepping back into the classroom. So I want to know what you think. Do you admire Tori Roloff's decision to go back to teaching? Or were you surprised she did not go full influence instead? Do you think other reality television cast members should follow her example and return to traditional careers? Or do you think the influencer route is more practical for most people? And do you think Tori will eventually return to television in some form? Or do you think this is her permanent next chapter? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one and I love hearing from you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe to LPBW Update, and ring the bell so you do not miss our weekly Roloff family stories. We are committed to bringing you the truth, the timeline, and the full picture of every member of this remarkable family. I will see you on the next one.